Hello everyone, my name is Pedro Morales, aka the Wigman Max Mercury, and today I'm bringing you part 6 of every UCT stable ranked from worst to best. So, no announcements for this video so far. So I'm just going to get straight to it. So number 47, we have the Corporation. And no, not WWE's the Corporation, even though it's more like WWE's Authority. But let me clear up the confusion. So this version of the Corporation includes Mr. Let me just make sure. Let me look at my notes so I don't get it wrong. Mr. Molinaro, Francesco, Rogan, and Bad News Bennett. So this stable is an SWE and debuted at, you guessed it, SummerSlam, where they cost an underdog babyface the world title, in which a heel Mr. Money in Bank winner came in, cashed in, and became the new world champion. So this stable is beat for beat the Authority, and that's about it. So yeah, Francesco became world champion and defended the belt a couple times against Estalo. That's how I say the name, but I'm probably very wrong. But eventually, it all came to a head at Survivor Series, where Estalo eventually defeated Francesco for the world title. Wait, no. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. My brain was wrong. In reality, it was actually, I think it was Evolution, in which Estalo teamed up with Silvio and Batista to defeat the Corporation in a traditional Survivor Series elimination match in order for Estalo to get a title shot at Francesco on the Raw afterwards, in which Estalo then won the title. And after that, the Corporation just fizzled out. Just like my voice there. Francesco challenged for the belt like one or two more times, and then ended up fighting The Undertaker at WrestleMania, while Rogan and Bad News Bennett formed a tag team and became tag team champions, and ended up losing it to Silvio and Batista at WrestleMania. So yeah, I say, like, even though this was beat for beat the Authority, I still enjoyed it. I still liked the stable. It did make me hate them, but for all the good reasons, all the right reasons. So for that alone, that puts them at number 47. Plus, it's a classic stable. It was back in, I think, around like the beginning of Gen 2, and it was like right when I was watching like full time, like for about a year. So yeah, brings nostalgic memories, and I think it's a good stable either way. So there you go. So moving on, we have number 47, the Corporate Rebellion. So just by the name alone, kind of contradicts itself, doesn't it? Because you have corporation, and then you have rebellion. It's like, well, the name doesn't really make sense considering it was all about like authority figures teaming up with chosen wrestlers. So it's like, what were they rebelling against? I don't know, because GYW has deleted all their videos, so I can't tell. But I do have a little memory, and they're basically a kind of a better version of the Corporation in that they had more wins and they were still on top of the company by the last video of GYW. Some of its members included Mr. Carter, Mart War, Devin Sanchez, Max Mercury, Zach Thompson, and Prince Jr. But yeah, they racked up a bunch of titles. I myself won Money in the Bank. Mart War was GYW World Champion, and yeah, everything was looking good for this stable, and it was still looking pretty good by the end of GYW. So that alone, and the fact that I think it's a better version of the Corporation, that they be placed right above it. So that's about it. So moving on, we have number 45, The Cause. So The Cause was like a rebellionist stable, or like, so it was a stable in RPW which featured Chris Parker, Austin North, and Damian Wolf. It was a trio of sorts where they were all about taking themselves to the top of the company, say screw authority, all that kind of stuff. And so sorry, I'm gonna cut that part out. and and they had a lot of success. Chris Parker was Mr. Money in the Bank and became world champion, while Austin North became a two-time IC champion, while Damian Wolf was the third guy. And then at Night of Champions, they recruited Swed, Roger, and Frank as kind of like enforcers, like an insurance. They were like the insurance policy to help the other members in their title matches. Yeah, this stable was pretty good. They kind of like dominated like the midpoint of season 1, and it all kind of came crashing down at Survivor Series. So while Austin North retained his IC title, and Swed and Damian Wolf clean sweeped in their traditional Survivor Series elimination match, Swed would turn on Damian Wolf and the Cause altogether, just leaving the stable. And then in the main event, Chris Parker would lose the world title to Doggy Dog, in which there was a lot of interference in that match from just the Cause and Swed. And then after that, the company entered into they had a cross-promotional event between DWF and RPW, where it was like DWF versus RPW, and the Cause kind of got pushed to the side, and they just fizzled out after that. Chris Parker became more of a lone wolf, which kind of fits his character more than being in the stable. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I gotta say. I think they were a successful stable. It's probably the most well-known stable from that company, and I feel it makes sense just to acknowledge that, you know. The reason, if you see my eyes just looking elsewhere, it's because I'm looking at notes on my screen. So just want to let that out there. But that's about it. So moving on, we have number 44, the Golden Path. So this is one of my first stables that I was in, and it was more of a trio than just really a stable. Kind of like I consider it a New Day stable, and even though they're a trio. But yeah, the Golden Path was a trio of myself, Max Mercury, Mr. X, who is now Brendan X, and Casablanca, where we dominated the tag scene by winning both the tag titles and the trios titles. So we were double champions for all the way from the end of season 2, from what was like Hell in a Cell all the way to WrestleMania 2. And we just won all of our matches. We just kept winning. We feuded with 0-1, Mario, Vix, and yeah, we just kept winning. And then it all came tumbling down in WrestleMania 2, where we lost back-to-back in our title matches. And in the end, it resulted in both Casablanca and Mr. X turning on me, and what would be a long history of Brendan X just screwing me over. But it's okay. I ended up beating him in all the matches that we have. So yeah, I like the stable. It had its own aesthetic, being all gold and stuff, and they were very dominant in all their matches. All the matches were good. They had title success, double championships. So yeah, I like it. The reason they're not that high, I think, is just because, or at least they're not higher, is because I feel like they're just better stables out there. So moving on, we have number 43. Oh, I almost did the thing early. So number 43, we have RMB Promotions. So this is a recent stable in PASW, which featured Riley Marie Boulay, which is the reason why it's RMB, in which she was kind of like offering managerial services to Jacob Cass, and then later DJ Hero and Max Mercury. So I'm not gonna lie. Oh, my bad. I'm gonna cut this out. So I'm not gonna lie. This stable wasn't that interesting for the first part. Like, they were just kind of heels managed by managed by Riley, and that was about it. This stable does get interesting, and the reason why they're on this list is because of the long burn that was their split up angle. The split up angle for me, I think, is one of the best, just because it was drawn out. The seeds were planted and they slowly growed over time, which featured mistrust and taking advantage of the other members. So for context, you had Jacob Cass, who just became Intercontinental Champion. And during a 6-man tag match, DJ Hero was left alone to get just beaten up by the Thunder Brothers, while Max and Cass went to go beat up Jade and Shadow. And that started a splinter in the group where DJ Hero was mad, rightfully so, about us leaving him just to get his ass kicked. And then from there, you know, so seeds of lies were just planted in the group, with DJ planting mistrust among myself and Cass, and eventually, like, DJ would end up beating Cass for the title. And, you know, it was all about this. I just think it's amazing. I think it was amazing angle. Sorry if I stop in my words, because sometimes like I think of one thought and then my brain goes to another. So sorry about that. But it was a lot of fun watching. It was a great angle, and I think the right man won. Like, yeah, sure, I didn't win in the end, because, you know, it all resulted in a triple threat match at WarMania 5, in which I would say is, I think, the best match on the card. Maybe a little biased, but it's whatever. Yeah, but DJ Hero won that, and right now, PSAW has not had a show since. Well, in terms of the main show, they've had AAPW shows, but PSAW is about to return with their season 9 premiere, and I'm excited to see what happens next. But yeah, they're this high because it was entertaining because of their split up angle. So next on the list we have number 42. We have the Colors, aka the Killers. So this stable is going to be hard to show in terms of pictures because it was a WCA stable and all their stuff has been deleted. But yeah, this was one of the first big bad stables of the company, and I think just that's points for acknowledgement there. And was it Black Shadow, who was the leader of the stable, became the first WCA champion, so points for that. And then just their presence throughout season 1, feuding with the rest of the roster and being at the top of the card is points alone. Yeah, Black Shadow versus Omega was probably one of the top feuds of season 1, so that's reason enough there. But that's about it. I don't think they're very interesting though besides that, so that's why they're not higher. But yeah, I like it. I like the stable. I don't have too much nostalgia towards it because I didn't get to watch these videos at all, and then they were deleted, so I never got to watch it. But I think just upon my research alone, I think they're good enough stable to be at number 42. So time for the last stable on this list, or at least for this video. Number 41, the Rebellion from OCW. So I mentioned OCW because there's another Rebellion stable, which I will get to later in another video. But this Rebellion features a bunch of members, actually. Let me just look at it real quick. So it features Johnny Extreme, Nightmare, DJ Hero, Ferramosa, Mario Sanchez, Sue, and Cody Vegas. So this is kind of like an alliance of some of the biggest baby faces on the roster in order to combat the Crew, in which which was another big bad stable from OCW that I will get to later on. But they were wreaking havoc all over OCW, winning all the titles and just being at the top of the ladder. And all these baby faces just had enough, so they decided to team up together, kind of like the Avengers, and take them out once and for all. Yeah, they're this high because, well, it's a stable with a cause and a purpose, and I don't know, just all these top faces together, working together to take out a big bad. I just love it. And but the reason why they're not higher is just because I feel like if it weren't for another stable, they wouldn't be together. So that's the thing. Their existence relies on another stable, so I feel like that ranks it down a notch. But I enjoyed what they did, and they were successful in their cause, so that's enough reason alone to warrant their placement. And the title success alone also is a reason for their placement. You know, Johnny Extreme ended up becoming World Heavyweight Champion, and also he and Nightmare won the tag titles. DJ Hero ousted Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. I think Sue became Women's Champion, and even though Cody Vegas lost the IC title, there was more W's than L's in this case. So yeah, I enjoyed the Rebellion, and I think it existed for the right amount of time. I feel like if they existed any longer, I think the question would be asked, why are they still together? But yeah, I liked for what they were and how long they were together. So yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching this video. This video went really fast because just want to say I filmed part 5 right before this, and all of this just feels seamless. It's just going by really quick. But thank you for watching. Leave any suggestions below in the comments section. And I think this will be the last stable ranking video for 2021. And there's a reason for that, which I will get to in another video. But thank you for watching. See ya.